top pricing out the
sir.
dirt cheap. We back in it, baby. And super stoked. I got a hot one for you today. Got some prep too. We took some time and prepared some stuff for y'all today. Yes, yes, yes. What's good with you though? Say something lit, you know. That's good to hear. Rio, what you gonna be on, gang? Rohan, I see you in the cut. I appreciate y'all pulling up, man. That makes a difference. It means a lot. Looking forward to seeing what y'all got in y'all streams. Looking out on that. No doubt. Y'all make sure to tap in with these ghosts that y'all see in the chat. Big shout out to Rohan in the building. WW Rio. Appreciate you, homie. Finna get into it today. We're gonna start it off with a little bit. We're gonna start it off raw. It's gonna start off raunchy, but then it's gonna get better. It's gonna start off a little rocky, then it's gonna get better. We're gonna get into this new updates in the Iran war. Lastly, we did. I know y'all probably heard it before, but yeah. Trying to stay hydrated. I do got the water here. I gotta do a refill on that here later. But yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all stay hydrated out there as much as you can. Yeah, so last that I discussed here on the channel, it's been a couple of days, But last I discussed, the Iran thing. Trump had authorized the bombing on Iran. That whole shit happened, right? Um, right. We saw we saw that. That was crazy. The world is like, what? We were in. For those of you who are living under a rock and ain't seen it, yo, Trump has officially had authorized the bombing of a few nuclear facilities around Iran. That happened, and after it hit, a lot of people was up in turmoil and shocked. They didn't know what the fuck was about to happen, right? So we was looking at that. We got some details that are emerging about next, and let's go and jump into it. Let's go and jump into with the latest news on Iran and what's going on here
And
from
mitigation
ABC
plans have been in
News.
the works for some time. These satellite
Let's see what
images
they got
show
for
more
us
than
here.
Were with us here this weekend as we were on the air live amid the news, this major U.S. strike on Iran. And tonight here, Iran's retaliation, targeting the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East, El Odeid, with a barrage of missiles, home to some 10,000 U.S. troops.
Oh,
13
whoa,
of
yeah,
14
that did
missiles
happen.
intercepted. The other one didn't make it. And just moments ago, the breaking news here, President Trump now saying there could be a ceasefire in the works in the coming hours. Tonight, the video from Doha, Qatar, showing incoming missiles and interceptors lighting up the sky. The Pentagon saying those 13
the
of
interceptors
14
working
missiles
too, though.
were intercepted with no damage or casualties.
Okay.
Late today, President Trump calling Iran's retaliation, quote, very weak, and thanking
Damn.
Iran for giving the U.S., in his words, early notice, sending a message through Qatar. The president saying it is now time for peace. Tonight here we are seeing.
Pause though. Okay, so that's the thing, Chad. I don't get this. It gets kind of wicked because like in warfare, right? You see how he said thank you for giving us the early notice. Why would you give him the drop? Why would you let him know that you got it? Like, why would you let your ops know? Like, yeah, thank you for giving us the drop. So why, what I'm saying, we might need to use that again. We might need to utilize that method of knowing what of pre-deterrence again. But that's just that's just the people we're dealing with. So that was interesting to see.
New video.
Look at that
These are the
B-2 stealth bomber.
bombers taking off in Missouri, headed for Iran the night of the attack. Officials looking closely at before and after satellite images to assess how much damage was done. Tonight, the UN nuclear watchdog agency now saying nearly 900 pounds of enriched uranium in Iran is now unaccounted for. So did they move uranium before the attack? And just before we came on tonight, as I mentioned, President Trump moments ago saying on social media there is now a complete and total ceasefire in the works.
That's what he's
we know about
saying.
this so far.
That's what
We
he's
begin here
saying.
tonight with Iran's retaliation and ABC's chief international correspondent James Longman in Iraq tonight.
We got the factor meal on deck tonight,
After 12
chat.
days of uncertainty in the Middle
This is
East, which has
the
fueled fears of a widening conflict, tonight Donald Trump has posted that Israel
chicken
and Iran
Florentine
have
with
agreed to a
spinach,
ceasefire.
garlic, chili, and cauliflower.
It was just hours ago that Iran struck back.
Hold on, what's the volume like? What's the volume like on the video,
Just
chat?
48 hours after the United States launched a
It's low.
barrage of bunker-busting bombs at several Iranian nuclear facilities.
Looks
This
alright, I
is
guess, huh?
what retaliation
Don't look
looks like.
much. Probably tastes better, hopefully.
The largest US base in the region targeted with what appears to be 14 short and medium-range missiles. President Trump tonight called it very weak, but he even thanked Iran in a post online for giving the US early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured.
Watch as they're intercepted by American and Qatari forces above Doha. According to US officials, some of those missiles were headed for Al Udeid Air Base.
The Pentagon says 13 of the 14 were intercepted with no damage or casualties.
Oh, this is really good.
Al Udeid is home to the headquarters of Central Command and Air Force Central Command. and it's likely where that US raid on Iranian nuclear facilities would have been coordinated. Trump was there just over a month ago.
The president urged peace after greenlighting that stunning operation, dubbed Midnight Hammer. New video shows about 9 B-2 bombers taking off from Missouri early Saturday morning. 2 were decoys, the other 7 flying quietly to Iran.
But see, that's another thing too, chat. Why? Why are we telling? How come it's on the news? And somebody please answer me this, like if you can, or if anybody knows, why is it on the news and common knowledge of where the B-2s are launching from? I don't get that. If anybody can give me that answer or a good answer, I mean, I'll be inclined to thank you very much. Because what the fuck? Why are we advertising that on the national news? Like where the fuck they're coming from? Where they bombing from? He says North Dakota. Why is that on the news? No name. Why are they saying that? Why are they saying that what state is coming from? Why is that impertinent? Why is that a need to know basis for the public or for the world? Asian Rice Cakes, thank you for the resub, Brody. I appreciate that a lot, man. Much love, bro. Much love. Yeah, what the fuck is up with that? To me, that's insanity. It's public knowledge, but I mean news. Okay, I see. Okay. That's just the news doing their shit.
Morning. 2 were decoys, the other 7 flying quietly to Iran.
What's going on, No Name? How's things, bro? How are you
Senior
feeling?
US defense official tells ABC News the administration believes Iran's attacks will be, quote, regional. Iran called today's attack the Annunciation of Victory. The Revolutionary Guard claims to have fired the same number of missiles that the US used in their weekend strike. Their supreme leader vowing Iran will not surrender. The US has been making adjustments to protect the more than 40,000 US troops spread from Iraq, Bahrain, Qatar and Syria. In the hours before, a shelter-in-place order went out at the US Embassy in Qatar.
People.
And mitigation plans have been
chilling.
in the works for some time.
Just big
These
vibe,
satellite
relaxing.
images show
Kicking
more
back.
than 24 US military aircraft
Eating another one
had
of these
left
factory
Al
meals.
Udeid Air Base. This photo was taken on June 10th and shows more than 30 military planes. 8 days later,
Just catching
a
up on the
nearly
news
empty
and whatever.
base with only 3 planes still visible.
So let's get right to James Longman with us live tonight from Iraq. And James, you have more on the breaking news here. President Trump suggesting moments ago a possible ceasefire now in the works between Israel and Iran.
Yeah, David, this is a fast-moving situation. We have yet to hear officially from either party, but not long ago, President Trump announced a ceasefire deal between Israel and Iran set to begin in just a few hours' time.
Okay, so this one's a
Under the
little bit
terms of
older,
this
right?
deal, Iran...
Pause, because I've seen that they did this, right? They did a ceasefire deal, but then I heard reports that the ceasefire supposedly got broken, like right after they fucking did this, the ceasefire supposedly got broken. Right after they did this shit, right? This what the fuck happened. Here it goes. If I'm not mistaken, here it goes. Boom. Right after that shit.
Suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it.
He says 11-minute ceasefire.
Intentionally, they couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay?
Have you spoken to him this morning? How confident are you that
I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And you know, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots, they're after me. They want to try and demean.
Do you believe that Iran can rebuild its nuclear program?
No, Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the
Pause, I'm dead. Hold on. No Name says they both launched full-scale attacks right before the ceasefire. Then Iran got the last hit. They didn't want to take it right. They don't want to leave it right there. They said, hell no, and broke the ceasefire instantly. What the fuck? What are the penalties about to be for that?
Pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize. I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers. Gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people.
Damn.
And the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSDNC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Oh, shit. Wow. He actually, it's the first time I Hey, so he did, I agree with him too though. But it's just the first time I ever heard him use profanity like that. CNN's very biased. We stop baiting. Yeah, I hope that. Yeah, that'd be interesting. This is gonna be interesting to play out, eh? Damn, he just walked up into the damn the helicopter, bro. What y'all think, fam? Yeah, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, yeah, so much blood has been spilled on both sides. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, that's interesting to see. Especially when the president comes out and just says the F word on television. I think that's definitely a clippable moment, man. That's some crazy shit right there. If I had any other topics in world news, we can get into it. I didn't have any other things to really touch more on in that aspect. If they don't shoot, yeah, man, that's crazy, dude. 11 minute ceasefire, bro. That's interesting. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pivot at this time. But that was a good 20. That was a good hot 20. That was a good hot 20.